All right. We are going to do some thumbnail sketch. A bunch of thumbnail sketch, some maybe larger ideation, but we're going to focus in on character design and clothing design for a bit. Let's focus in. I love this song. Goddamn, we might change up the audio. Maybe not. All right, long hoodie. We'll come back to that. You want to make sure you got good and fresh energy. Sometimes that's like moving real quick. And creating like abstract shapes while you're moving and blocking in the dimensionality, blocking in the angles. Clothes are fun. Like you can usually block in interesting textures and patterns, and you know that it's all the fabric. Like if you're doing character designs for games, oftentimes there's layers of armor. You know, like there's straps. It's a combination of all these different tactical pieces of gear. When if you're like, this is leather, then I can just make a really interesting pattern on it without you being like, what is robot parts and what is all these different things. If you're using like one material, then you can suggest it really well. Okay. Stuff like bags. Love bags. And you're like, yes, everyone loves bags, Lane, but you can't even see what that is. What, man? I can totally see what that is. It's a number of bags that create a pattern like that, and you define what exactly those bags are in this step. But I know what it is, and sometimes it takes a couple renditions to figure out exactly what is where. Leathers, soft leather, and then you do even like another one. 'Cause there's something cool that I like about that. It's like belt and bags around the belt, and then a bag. There's like a space between them. And then like that. See? Look at that. It does look more like the original, right? And it has a more distinct shape than those bags up there. It's kind of the value and joy of thumbnailing. What makes it so cool. So you can capture these forms, and at least I can read it, but I'm always curious to other artists and designers being able to read, you know, sometimes even better or even different ideas of the same thumbnail. I'm real good with like making interesting thumbnails. I've got so much extra EXP there because I couldn't do finished line work, but I just do thumbnails all the time. And creating really interesting patterns in like 2 dimensions because I didn't know like perspective. So I'd try and make it something that was visually interesting and powerful in 2 dimensions. I was like, there's still so many 2-dimensional designs. Like you can win at that dimension alone. So, I mean, I'm not saying you'll be like, what? You've got an edge on us now. Like, we learned dimensional stuff, but you haven't spent that. You can hone in the exact same the exact same way, exactly as well as you can hone in on dimensional drawings by doing things like, it's a pant leg, right? Pant leg, 2 dimensions. Other pant leg, 2 dimensions. What you're doing is a surface texture now. You look at some swirling Japanese wave patterns, right? And you're like just applying patterning to a piece of clothing like that, exactly as effective, or I would even say more effective when you're doing a 2-dimensional design. Why do I say more effective? Because if like it's a drawing, at least when you're starting, but I think the reason that I'm able to do this so well is because I did so many 2D drawings. You'd be like, there's no way this doesn't look better. This looks like Spike Spiegel's legs. No, it does, but it doesn't track the exact location of the designs on the clothes the way this one does. If you were to take this to a different designer and say, design this from a different angle, it would not be as easy and intuitive as this 2-dimensional one. That's why they still use 2-dimensional type designs in concept art. You know, if you're doing a concept and capturing an idea for a character, if you're using ideation, dimensionality might be real good. But if so, too, I mean, if you're doing game art, you put like blocky, you know, pouches and knee pads and buckles on everything so that it looks cool, but actually capturing a really striking, priceless dragon pants composition that looks awesome and timeless, and you haven't quite seen it anywhere before, like a great Fortnite design. You're like, oh shit, that's a classic. That's a classic, but it's a new classic, you know? They're making things that fit into the entire ecosystem of design where you're like, okay, that face, that angle, that shape, you know, it's almost that. It's not any of them. And then like that, you know? Yeah, this one is really cool. It's like, you know, even if doing the same things there, it doesn't read quite as quick. Right? You couldn't even get that piece. Hardly. Alright, this is cool. We're only 10 minutes in. This is awesome. Now, I love fashion design so much. I was always like, I will invest the time to be a fashion designer if I have the time. It meant so much to me, getting cool clothes when I was like in adolescence. If anyone had given me a place where I could have had any of these pairs of pants, man, I would have been so thrilled. Especially if they were like not costing like $300 and were a company that was like eco-friendly and badass, where it wasn't like they supported sketchy high fashion things, you know? Definitely not, you know, vogue to be a pedophile in our design area. And the way to make great clothes isn't like super rich people like jacking each other off in a closed room. It's a process of arts and design that represents and celebrates human life and culture and the power of the individual to become a hero, the spirit of rebellion, to write your own story, bold and true, you know, something that inspires you to your potential while looking totally classy and cool. Where everyone's like, damn, that's a fresh cut, man. That's a fresh cut. It's a way to start conversations. If you're new in a place and you're repping your fashion, it's the cover of the book, man. You might say don't judge a book by its cover, but it's the first thing you see. If you captured someone's interest in that first moment when you see them, it's like better than nothing. Way better. No, interest is a great starting point. Now, I should figure out fashion companies with sketch things. I mean, there's good people everywhere and whatnot, but I don't want to support sketch things. You know, it's like just in the worlds with a crazy high amount of money and they're paid to be weird and fucking, I don't know. I don't know what else, man. You want weird, rare things? I don't know, man. Going to high fashion parties where everyone has so much money and they've all done everything in a world where you can do and get everything. Does it drive people crazy to be in a situation like that? Quite honestly, I think it drives people crazy to be in a situation like that because there's no grounding, because there's no balance. They're like, okay, we have all this money and yet we are not happy. And they don't invest in things like spirituality and super balanced, mindful living. I don't know if they do. There's times though, places in Hollywood, it's like, are they balanced? Are they grounded? To find grounded folks in the entertainment industry who like meditate and tap in and have their sense of self-worth and happiness completely detached from what other people think, you know? Because then there's no need to have an escape from stress. Star Fox. Sometimes I will name certain outfits the Star Fox top. Kind of stylish tactical vest. I'm gonna give him a tight t-shirt. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, then you come back to things. If you're like, this is fun, but I'm not really feeling any inspiration for it, you know, you can things like a giant-sized pouch belt. It's like, would people actually wear that? I'd wear that. It's cool as hell. Like, but a backwards fanny pack doesn't work that well? Bullshit, man. You just have to know where your things are. Backwards fanny packs work. Sorry, I just anticipate things that people say about different types of design. There's a lot of people that want to be trendy, so they be saying things that they expect other people to say without actually thinking of their own things. I'm doing the opposite of that. Okay, so it's like camo, but with mandalas. You might be like, how does mandala camo work? That's easy. Okay, so there's camo. And like, flower mandala. But then it's like the mix of details versus empty space is a fucking core patterning concept, but a really core mandala thing. It's been forever since I even tried to draw mandalas. You can get it so good where you can just like suggest any type of patterning so quick. I should hone that. There you go. So there'd be like areas where it'd be mandalas, and maybe some things where it'd be like paint splatter, or like the mandalas just break into fragmentation. And they're almost the color of the pants. And they overlay in points. Kind of like a floral pattern. Black on black. Mandala camo. You do that with like a plain hoodie thing in the waist bag, that's cool as shit. Not only is it fly as hell, it looks unique and unlike anything you've ever seen. I've looked at so many fashion designs now too, which is pretty cool. I can like confidently say all of the trends that I've seen, and I mean like, with my effective searching, I feel like now I have searched more than most people in a fashion game. And you might be like, well, what? It's not just raw time that you spend doing a thing, but effective time that you spend doing a thing. Looking at diverse content, comparing them back and forth between each other, knowing how to sketch and render things so that as you're looking at patterns, you can be internalizing the shapes. There is all kinds of ways that I've given myself an edge there. And I'm not just out to make money, but cool clothes. And it speaks to my heart as a designer and my personal experience as a human. Damn, that's a combo right there. Okay, that's like starting to get overdone. You have to do things quick. If you can do things quick, they will shine. All right. I'll just do this without talking. This could be anything. That's such a nice base. We'll just let that one sit there. You have drawings right next to each other when you're doing fashion. You can go so quick because it's just like, you know, same position. Something there. You can do game art so easily. I mean, like adding on things like, I like to add game art aspects into fashion design, and always did. I was like, game designs are so cool, but they must be integrated into streetwear so they don't look like silly. Like I was like, I want to wear utility belts all over my gear, but people would be like, why do you have extra belts on? You know, at times I would. And they'd be like, what? There is no reason for that belt, is there? I'm like, it's a fashion statement. You feel kind of silly. But if it was like integrated into the actual coat and you're like, this is the drip, you know, that carries. That's a statement. Like, I want this to be a fashion statement. Like, what kind of statement are you making? I mean, that's only at times, though. I've never been anything less than a fashion icon. And everyone was always like, God damn, I would make it a point to buy clothes off eBay that were not available anywhere. And had something that I genuinely liked to wear. Considering I didn't get out that much. And when I did, I wanted to make an impression, you know? I didn't have a core group of people. I was like, you know, in a town of strangers with this whole unheard story of my life. I wanted them to remember that guy. Ooh. Bunch of chains. Oh man, this guy's a warrior. Fucking gloves with the padded. You gotta take down the padding just a tiny bit. That looks like a motorcycle jacket. Just layered streetwear. That's feckin' champion wear. The real baggy at the hips. Into some kind of... I love high boots. Like, even those boots would be pretty high. Gangstar gear. Okay, let's do something with this one. Hat. High belt. High waist. Yeah. Get the tie around the waist. Vest tank top gear. Hat, hair. Tattoos. And then that's just like fun for shapes, right? You can be like, oh, and this leg's like that, right? And this whole like side of this thing's like graffitied. And you're like, okay, that looks like, well, this is a compositional sketch. Then you go in, right? And you're like, this vest is like this from the side. Always get collars for things. You know, it's just got a sleeve hole. Pretty basic type. But then you throw some, you know. Forgive me for using imaginary kanji again. I've got to get a list of the most simplified kanji, but then it would always be the same. I don't know if that's as cool. Where half of it is this stylish, bold, colorful fucking kanji prints. There It's a girl. And this is like tied belt, coat. And pants. You know, you always just go in with another layer if your composition works at a distance. And the pants there, you know, I like. Okay, we'll just do the other leg. Like, bam. And you get to choose like what you're gonna pattern with this, you know? We'll do like graffiti, but in a different language. In this case, Arabic calligraphy. All up the side. Old Japanese type. And this. That's the fit. And then what colors? Like gray on gray on gray. Dark gray. Medium gray, brown silver type jacket, light gray shirt, or like a top under that. Oh damn, she be looking super cool. And in that way you could sit there and just like do a pair of pants with textures and patterns on them. So cool. Because, you know, you can then master all the different shapes of pants, skinny jeans, you know, taper fit, like super baggy, baggy in the waist. And those are the only types of pants. So once you've gotten those, I'm kidding, I do draw a lot of those. Yeah, and you're like eyeball. Eyeball. And once you draw a couple of them really well, you can totally suggest in the rest of the pattern, no problem. Eye fit. And then you can do a big one over here. Same thing, but now the whole multi-area is one. I'm sorry for explaining things that way. It's just like how my mind works. I'm like always explaining things to myself in like basic ass words. I'm trying to simplify things and make them direct. And sometimes it's funny how I'll like work at something for a long time and the simple will be something that is really simple. It is really direct. The solution will be direct. It'll be simple. Oh. Okay. I can tell these are going to be good right away. Sometimes you feel the inspiration after giving an example for something and you're like, ooh, now I thought of a good thing to do with the example. I'm no longer just like making a point, but like, I can't wait to see how this thing looks. So giant peace sign. Where are you going to fit a giant peace sign? Bam. Bam. You can tell it's a peace sign, right? All right, we'll do some free sketching and come back to it. You can also do like another peace sign down here. Repping the piece. You can do things like a mini drawing. Now you're getting really fast. Bam. 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 And then you can have things like interesting seams or stitching as well as the design elements, and you just have an awesome pair of pants. This is so fun. See if we do a really quick drawing. If you do things like characters popping a peace sign with the same amount of detail as another designer who's just drawing them standing around, your designs will definitely appear more interesting. And we've established that there is times when doing a two-dimensional design would be good, but when you're coming up with new things is the point when switching up the pose, switching up the angle. Totally good. Look at that. Just goddamn awesome. Yeah, definitely. Taking the Marc Jacobs thing, surefire way to make like a multi-million-dollar fashion thing. There's just so much money in fashion. If you have winning techniques, a winning drive, and a winning mission statement, and have gotten yourself good at learning things and articulating them, that's the jam. Okay, let's get this. Extra large type size. Like shorts. Second layer. And then you have like leggings of vibrant color or pattern. Big chonky sneaker shoes. like cool shaped sneakers. Different things that I like. You know, sneaker shape, but then you do like that. And that. Bam. Like that shit. Yo, that's some fly shit. That's some of the fly shit I've ever seen, man. If I wasn't drawing it, I'd say we got a surefire million right off those. Say surefire million. I say watch the episode of Abstract, the Art of Design, on the guy that designs the shoes. Have you watched that? You probably should. Okay. So then you see the feminine figure. Hat. I can hear you say, it looks a lot like Billie Eilish, your idol. Billie Eilish isn't my idol, but I do like and respect her. Quite a goddamn lot. Billie Eilish would be cool if she didn't have that voice and songwriting. You know, she's just a cool person. Let's see. It's the best. White shorts, white undershirt. Like white on white, super high quality fabrics. And then colorful ass leggings and shirt. It works. Like skulls, like big rainbow color skulls. Like just one rainbow color skull that's like this big. That's cool. Okay. We'll go and come back. We'll go and come back. Happy fashion designs. We'll try to break these up into more pieces so that like you know, you can stick with it longer. And if you want to, I mean, you can pick them up wherever you're at and stick with them as long as you'd like. Oh my god, we should make a whole series of Billie Eilish ideas for clothes and see if she likes them. I'm a big fan of Billie's style and have collected a number of the different looks where I'm pretty familiar with her stage gear. Oh my god, we should do it. And then we can do Gaga. Takashi Murakami, the world. I'm not actually familiar with what Lady Gaga wears much. Here, we'll do a drawing of what Lady Gaga might wear. Boom! Yeah. Bam. So Vogue. Bam. Leather vest, leather pants. Not even high boots. The bottom of the pants are just not textured. High heels. You would see how actual sick this would look on Lady Gaga. Bam, that's leather strips and pads on the ass. Open back. In a strong wind, so you can see the open back and whatnot. See, strong wind tech. That there is an expert technique. She's gonna wear gloves. Might as well. Might the hell as well give her a glove. Of the ultimate glove. It's leather with strips of the finest metal, like cloud. And she's even got a fucking microphone. This, nah, she gets a fucking... sword for sure. All right. Peace and love.